In recent years, Mexico has been at the center of a global economic transformation, nearshoring. This phenomenon is redefining supply channels, attracting foreign investment, and positioning the country as a strategic partner of the United States. However, what many people don't know is that nearshoring didn't emerge spontaneously. It has deep roots in political decisions, especially in the economic protectionism driven by former US President Donald Trump. In this video, we will explore what nearshoring is, why Mexico has become a key destination, and how Trump protectionism influenced this process. What opportunities and challenges of country faces in light of this shift? The goal is not just to understand the economic term, but to reflect on Mexico's role in an increasingly relational economy.
What is nearshoring? Nearshoring is a term derived from English that combines the words near and outsourcing. It refers to the practice of relocating production or service operations to countries near the main market. This instead of faraway places like Asia. This strategy seeks to reduce the transportation cost, avoid the logistical risk, and improve the operational efficiency. For example, many US companies that previously produced in China are now relocating their plants to Mexico. This in order to be closer to their main market and reduce the delivery times and minimize the risk. This from the trade tensions or logistical disruptions that, for example, we can see in the pandemic. Unlike offshoring, which involves sending operations anywhere in the world regardless of the distance, nearshoring focuses on the proximity as a competitive advantage, and this advantage is not only geographical but also cultural.
Factors driving nearshoring. The rise of nearshoring is not coincidence but it responds to a series of global factors. First, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities of the long and complex supply chains. Many companies experienced delays, input shortages, and rising logistic costs. This led to a deep deflection. Is it worth depending on factories on the other side of the world? Second, geopolitical tensions between the US and China have led to a revaluation of trade relationships. The so-called trade war, initiated during Trump's administration, imposed tariffs on Chinese products, creating uncertainty for the US companies dependent on Asian inputs. Lastly, there is a growing trend toward the regionalization of value chains. Instead of total globalization, the companies now are aiming to build more localized and diversified networks, enabling them to respond more quickly to crises or regulatory changes.
Mexico has positioned itself as one of the main beneficiaries of nearshoring for several reasons. First of all, its proximity to the United States, which represents an unparalleled logistical advantage. The shared border facilitates ground transportation and allows for much shorter delivery times than those from Asia. Moreover, Mexico has an extensive network of trade agreements, the most relevant being the United States-Canada-Mexico Agreement. This agreement guarantees preferential trade conditions and provides legal certainty to foreign companies wishing to invest in Mexico. Another important factor is Mexico's labor force. The country offers skilled labor at more competitive costs than the US. Many companies also value the industrial experience. Mexico has developed in sectors such as automotive, aerospace, electronic, and general manufacturing. Additionally, Mexico boasts increasingly solid industrial infrastructure with industrial parks, free trade zones, efficient customs, and growing logistics corridors. All of this makes Mexico an ideal platform for producing goods aimed at the North American market.
The role of Donald Trump's protectionism. One of the less discussed but deeply influential factors in the rise of nearshoring has been the protectionist shift driven by former President Donald Trump. During his administration, Trump implemented an economic policy centered on protecting American industry, under the slogan America First. This strategy translated into the imposition of tariffs on foreign goods, especially from China. Aiming to make imports less attractive and to promote domestic production, trade agreements such as NAFTA were renegotiated, giving way to the USMCA with stricter clauses to encourage regional content in manufactured goods. While these policies were primarily intended to benefit US industry, they had a side effect. They pushed companies to seek closer and more reliable regional alternatives. As the direct neighbor and trade partner of the US, Mexico emerged as the most logical option. Paradoxically, we could say that Trump's protectionism, designed to limit globalization, ended up encouraging a new form of globalization that is more regional, nearshoring.
Current impacts of nearshoring in Mexico. The impact of nearshoring in Mexico is already visible. Foreign direct investment has significantly increased in the states such as Nuevo León, Chihuahua, Coahuila, Baja California, and Guanajuato. These states are developing new industrial parks to host companies attacked by this trend. There has also been growth in the demand for technical and specialized talent. In terms of employment, nearshoring has generated new job opportunities in sectors such as automotive, electronic textiles, and business services. This represents an opportunity to reduce unemployment, increase income, and strengthen regional economies. Additionally, the rise local production has boosted exports to U.S. further, strengthening economic ties between both countries' industries.
Nearshoring is vital to various industries, including automotive manufacturing and auto parts. Mexico is the fourth largest vehicle exporter and a key hub for brands like General Motors, Ford, and Volkswagen. Nearshoring reduces logistics costs and delivery times to the US and Canada. The growing demand for electric vehicles is also driving battery and advanced component production in Mexico. Electronics and semiconductors. Companies like Foxconn and Flex already assemble electronics in Mexico. Textiles and apparel. The US sees Mexico as a natural, fast, and accessible supplier that can deliver quickly and communicate easily. Metalworking industry. Mexico has a specialized technology in metal molding and casting, attracting more businesses to this sector. E-commerce. The relocation of plants and the resulting logistics improvements have boosted online commerce by 6%, and more companies are expected to emerge in this sector. Construction. The massive influx of companies into the country has sparked a construction boom in industrial buildings and parks, benefiting construction firms by 4%.
Challenges and limitations. Despite the promising outlook, Mexico faces major challenges that could hinder the potential of nearshoring if not addressed promptly and seriously. One of the main obstacles is infrastructure. While some areas are well developed, many regions lack adequate roads, rail connectivity, or port capacity to handle increased trade volumes. Security is another concerning factor. The presence of organized crime and violence in some industrial areas creates uncertainty for investors and makes it difficult to establish sustainable operations. There is also an issue with energy and water supply. Some regions face water shortages, which is a major barrier for industries that require large resources quantities. Furthermore, the generation of clean energy is insufficient to meet growing demand. Finally, the education and technical training systems need strengthening. Without trained talent, long-term industry transformation is unsustainable. Nearshoring is not just about moving factories, it's about building complete productive ecosystems.
In future perspectives, if Mexico can overcome these challenges, nearshoring could become an engine of a new stage of economic development. Projections indicate that we could attract hundreds of billions of dollars in investment over the next decade if the right conditions are created. This will require close collaboration between government, business, and educational institutions. A stable political environment, clear rules, respect for the rule and the law, and public policies also that encourage innovation and productivity will also be crucial for get to this
Mexico
point.
has the opportunity to position itself as an industrial and technological hub for North America, but this opportunity won't last forever. Countries like Vietnam, India, and Malaysia are also competing for investments, so it's essential to act with a strategic vision. In summary, nearshoring represents a historic window of opportunity for Mexico. It arises as a response to a changing global context, but also as a direct consequence of the protectionism turn taken by the United States under Donald Trump. Although many of his policies were designed to protect American industry, they ended up reshaping the global production map. And in this new map, Mexico has a chance to play a leading role. But to seize this opportunity, we must confront our internal challenges with determination and commitment. Infrastructure, security, education, energy, and governance are the key pieces that will define our success or failure in this new phase. More than just an economic trend, nearshoring is an invitation to build a more competitive, sustainable, and globally connected country. The future is closer than we think. Now, it's up to us.